Hi everyone, welcome back. Doing another live today with Upfront Kids. Kids Up Front. Got the words reversed. I apologize. But yeah, we're just waiting for... Oh, Kids Up Front just joined us. I think Kelly's going to be joining us from there. Yeah. And we're just connecting. Hello, hello, hello. Hi everybody, hi everybody, hi everybody, hi everybody. Hi. I got the words reversed. I said Upfront Kids. I don't know what that means.
It happens all the time, don't worry.
I said it, I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Something's off here.
Doesn't make any sense. Am I coming through okay on your end?
Yeah, now you are. It took a few seconds, but you're good.
Okay. You're a little choppy there. Let me... see if that's better.
Okay, that is better. You were frozen.
Better?
Yeah, way better.
Okay, cool. Good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
This is our week 2. You weren't here last week, but
no, I was watching.
Apparently,
wasn't on the
apparently it was a smash.
Yeah, I was excited about the ketchup chip mac and cheese edition though. So
you're welcome. I am a big child. You will learn this. Hence the Star Wars shirt.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'm a huge nerd too.
Right on. Well, before we get started, because we kind of did a similar approach to last week, where I asked you to ask kind of your community what everyone wanted to see, and it came back unanimously as dessert. So I thought I'd actually make something that I referenced in last week's kind of live. But for those that are joining us that aren't necessarily as familiar with Kids Up Front, do you want to just kind of give a little recap, a little synopsis?
Yeah, for sure. So we're Kids Up Front Toronto, and we have 5 other chapters. So we have Vancouver, Ottawa, and other places in Canada. And what we do is take donated event tickets and we distribute them to deserving youth who may not have been able to get these opportunities otherwise. And we do this by working with about 300 agencies in the GTA, in the Golden Horseshoe. And yeah, they help distribute it and get it out to the youth. So that's normally how we operate. And because of the COVID situation, it's been a bit different, but we've been trying to host events like this online. We post daily resources at 11 o'clock on our Instagram and Facebook. And we're just trying to provide online ways for kids to still, enjoy activities and be active and experiences.
Well, I mean, someone's like, when are we going to start? They're like, get on with it. Okay, I'm moving. But so I thought it was great. You guys asked me to do this again. I thought, why not? Got a Friday afternoon going. So basically what I'm going to make is something that I had referenced in the last live we did. I used to make these like French toast sandwiches all the time. Basically, it's like you make either peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or today I'm using Nutella. We're going to make a quick little strawberry jam. And then you like egg batter it, and you make French toast with it. And it's easy, it's quick. It's dessert-y. It's kind of hybrid of brunch and dessert all at the same time. But there's a couple things that people might find useful. So for example, I'm using frozen strawberries that I've kind of blitzed up. But these were fresh strawberries that we had purchased, and we just couldn't eat them all in time. So they were starting to have like brown spots here and there. And I think now more than ever, given everything that's going on, we just need to be a lot more resourceful with our food. So literally I just sat there, I washed them all, and I cut off all the brown spots, and I put them in a Ziploc bag and I froze them, because now all of a sudden they've been preserved and we can use them for something like this. So it's, and this goes with all fruit, right? Like, I feel like people just get really worried about when they're going through their fridge, like, oh, this might not be good or whatever. It's like, now we need to be more than ever diligent about the food and not be wasteful and seeing what can be reserved or what can't be. So a couple things I'm going to get started here with. I have a small little saucepan. I have kind of medium-sized saucepan. So I'm going to use the small one for water. I'm going to use the medium one for the actual fruit. And then I have a non-stick fry pan for the actual French toast part. So we have about 3/4 cup of water. That's going to go into the smaller saucepan on a high heat. We want to bring that up to a quick boil. On the medium saucepan, that's where our strawberries are going to go. So I'm going to put that on a high heat. And there's a couple other, like, obviously if you have jam in your fridge, by all means, use jam for this. If you have, you know, a little bit of jam or a lot of different little jams, you can kind of just mix all your jams together, and you've just taken individual jams and you've made that amazing mixed berry jam. So obviously use what you have in your fridge. But if you do have fruit that, you know, might not make it, and you're trying to figure out other ways to incorporate and use it in a recipe, this is a great way to do it. So like I said, I had, sorry, I turned on the wrong burner. That one's there. Perfect. So yeah, so these were fresh strawberries that I cleaned off. I put them in the freezer, and then I put them through just like the food processor a little bit, just to like pulverize them. Don't pulverize them thawed, because then it'll just make a total mess. So you want to do it while they're frozen. I'm just going to add that to the pan here. You don't have to necessarily pulverize them like I have. You can make this from just whole fruit, but just keep in mind that it might take a little longer. So if
someone just asked what you're putting in the medium sauce bowl. Is that the berries?
That's the strawberries.
That's strawberries.
So you got the strawberries going in first. And then, so like by using frozen fruit, there's a little bit extra moisture in there too, because now you're allowing it to kind of thaw in the pan. And then in the small saucepan, we have 3/4 cup of water. Now, as far as like thickening agents go, there's a couple different things you can use. It's really important to make sure that you are constantly stirring your strawberries so they're not burning. So anyways, there's a couple things you can use as a thickening agent that you can add to the water once it boils. A lot of people would use like serto or pectin. That's pretty common. There's also, like, if you have, I was trying to Google some little hacks. People, if they have like Jello packets at home, there's like pectin in that. So you could use like Jello packets. So if you had a little bit of Jello, strawberry Jello, and then you're using fresh strawberries, you could use a little bit of that. Hi, can you say that all over again? Thanks, I got the picture. My girlfriend's like, sugar. I'm like, yeah, I know, I got sugar. So we're going to use a little bit of sugar as well. And then another thing too is there's actually, like, I can tell on my fingers. There's actually natural pectin in like orange peels and orange zest, and lemon peels and lemon zest. So you can use some of that as well. So now I'm going to use about a cup of sugar here to 2 cups of, sugar to 2 cups of the strawberry. A little more. So there's 2 cups of the chopped strawberries, and we've got 1 cup of sugar. And then as far as like other things, I'm trying to like go through, like normally I would use like a sweeter bread, like a brioche bread, but I didn't have any. So I have multi-grain bread that I'm going to use for this. Have we started cooking? Yes, we have. This is happening.
And are you putting the sugar in with the strawberries? Someone's asking.
Oops, sorry. You cut out there. What was that?
Are you putting the sugar in with the strawberries? Someone's asking.
The sugar went in with the strawberries.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so someone said, okay, let me see if I can put this down a little bit lower. So everyone can, normally I just kind of, does that work?
You almost need a drone to go downward onto the pan.
Someone's like, all I see is this hat. How's that?
Okay.
Hey, there we go. Okay, so here we have the strawberries and the sugar. That's come up to a boil, and now my water's come up to a boil. So I'm just adding a little bit of potato starch to the water. And I'm going to mix it around, and that's going to dissolve. And then once that fully dissolves, we're going to add that to the strawberries. And then instead of chocolate, I'm going to have to duck every time I want to say it. Instead of chocolate, I'm using Nutella. As like an Italian Canadian, I grew up with Nutella. It was something I absolutely love. So we're going to put Nutella on one side of our bread. We're going to put the strawberry on the other side of the bread, and then we're going to dip it in like a milk egg wash. And we're going to make French toast with it. I've also got, I had a little, because like I said, I'm a big kid. I had a few, what are these, mini Smarties? I'm gonna add that as well.
Oh,
I love mini Smarties. Right?
Extra chocolate.
Why not? I had them. Why not? And then, of course, I'm a big fan of, it doesn't need maple syrup, but it's French toast. How can you have French toast without maple syrup? All right, so this water now is starting to dissolve. So I'm just going to kind of flip the camera around so everyone can kind of see what's going on. So on this hand, we have the strawberries that are kind of coming to a nice little simmer and boil there. And then we have that water with the starch, or like I said, if you have serto, if you have the Jello powder, I thought was a really interesting one, but it kind of makes sense. Like you have a little Jello powder. So it's like trying to make use of things that you have already around the house. And then when I was a few years ago, one of my cooks was the one who taught me the idea of that there's natural pectins in like orange peels and lemon peels. So when we would make like savory jams for dishes that already use kind of lemon and orange, it was kind of a really easy way to like thicken it up, which I thought was kind of fun.
Cool.
Okay, so this water here is boiling, so I'm just going to add this now with the thickening agent in it. And we just want to keep bringing that to a boil now. Which is great. So you can already start, like at least from this end, I can already start to see it turn into, I'm just going to flip the camera around here so you can see.
And you just have a question of, someone's asking what you added into the water.
So that's where I was saying you can add, if you have pectin, the pectin's a great one, or like serto, like I was saying, the Jello pack. I used a little bit of potato starch. It's just, these are all just thickening agents that help it kind of become that thicker kind of jam-like consistency. And you just want to keep working it, right? Because you just don't want it to burn because there are sugars in the pan now. So we're just going to keep moving it around, keep whisking, keep whisking. Now you can just forego that part too and just use all sugar, but then it's a little bit sweeter than you might anticipate.
Someone asked, could you use flour as a thickening agent? Would that work?
Yeah, it would as well. You would do it at the same time as that like you would add it to the water first. But yeah, flour could work as well. I didn't use a lot. I just used about 1 teaspoon. So nothing crazy. And like I said, you can already see as it bubbles, as the liquid's reducing. Now, in a perfect world, what I would do is once I reduce all that liquid and it thickened up, I would just put this in the freezer to kind of get it to firm a bit. Because like of the live, we won't have a chance to do that. So I'm just going to kind of, I might put it in the freezer very quickly, but it won't have a chance to like properly cool. Like I said, this was all just made from stuff that I had around the house. My buddy John's like, why don't you ever cook for me? Because we talk every day. So that's good enough now.
No, he doesn't just want your friendship. He wants the food.
Yes, I have added water to the strawberries already. As soon as the water came to a boil, I had added it in. Like I said, we can already start to see that really thickening up. What I was always so impressed with last week actually was how many like other organizations, I guess, that you guys work with were kind of promoting that we were doing the live for your crew. I thought that was so awesome.
It is awesome, and they can reach so many people through doing that, right? Like we appreciate it so much. So yeah, it's cool.
What types of organizations? Because I saw like the Gilda Radner Club was one of them, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But like I didn't anticipate that. So like, what are some of the other organizations that work with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we work with really anyone that works with youth, which we consider ages 18 and under.
Right.
So we work with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we work with Autism Ontario, and really anyone that can help get the tickets to youth age 18 and under who are deserving of those tickets. And one sec, we might have had a few questions here. Someone's asking if you're using pectin, how much do you add?
Based on the ratio that I gave of 3/4 cups of water, you can use 1 small pack of pectin. And then someone said here, all your partners are the best. So that's great. It feels like everyone's like such a very community oriented with this, which is so awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's a very
so obviously you guys have been impacted then because of this, because like people just can't go out and do events. So like, and now like obviously they were saying it might be until July before things can happen. Like, how does that change your programming and planning now?
Changes it a lot because we didn't do that many online resources before this because much of our time was spent getting the tickets, distributing them, and going through orders.
Well,
so
it makes sense though, right? Like if experiences are part of the mandate, like you want people to go out and experience them.
Exactly, and it
makes total sense.
Yeah. So it is different because it's not as big of a change to watch something from your home that rather than going out and doing the event. But we're trying to find ways to have things that are interactive and resources people can use even though they're stuck at home. So it's just shifted our programming a lot more online, and really trying to opening it up to anyone in the community that might want to access and put out. Yeah.
Well, that's why, I mean, if you think about it, like we're hosting this on my platform, but it's like we've all just said like, hey, everyone's communities come together. Let's, let's just join as one, and that way everyone can kind of benefit from whatever.
Yeah.
So you can really see how it's starting to thicken up now. Like, and that was, we've only been here for, about 10 minutes of doing this, so pretty quick actually. As far as, and there's a lot of different ways of making kind of a strawberry jam. This is kind of considered a quick fix or a quick do, but pretty good consistency. I'm pretty happy with that. You can also do a couple other things here to obviously zhuzh it up. Like if you had like an orange zester or orange peels, you could like, zest some orange in there. If you had some mint, you could kind of blend the mint in that as well. Like if you want to get crazy, you could take those Smarties that I had and just start folding that right into the jam. Whatever floats your boat. But and this works well with peanut butter. I'm using like I said, the Nutella. But if you don't have either of those, you could just use like a nice milk chocolate. That would melt pretty well. Mm-hmm. Can we use cornstarch? Yes, you can. Just you would just add it to the water like I did. And because like these are all activators and thickening agents, so you can actually just see right now like how thick this is getting, which is exactly what I want. That's great. So I'm actually going to just put. That's actually really good. So I'm going to quickly just put that in the freezer. Hi, I'm back. I'm just going to quickly put that in the freezer.
I'm glad someone enjoyed the mac and cheese recipe. Someone said that they loved the mac and cheese recipe from last week.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So like I said, I won't have time for the jam to like properly cool the way I want it to, because we're going to just keep rolling, but at least it's a chance a little bit to cool. But yeah, no, I was like, I don't know, like I'm kind of a big kid. Like what would I want? It's like taking things that you'd probably already be eating, like macaroni and cheese, but just making it from start to finish. What do you do if it's not thickening? Chances are their heat is too low, if it's not thickening. So you can either add some more sugar, turn up the heat on your stove, and then just keep letting it reduce. As long as there's sugar in it, as soon as the liquid is cooked out, it will reduce. It just might not be as quick as mine was. Someone said that their kids made the mac and cheese twice. That's a win. I'll take it. I'll totally take it. So for egg wash, literally I have a bowl here. Ta-da! I'm going to crack one egg right into the bowl. Okay. So egg in the bowl. A little bit of, I'm using 2% milk, but you can use kind of any milk that you have. Some people say like water, like if you don't have milk, like right now, I was a big fan of saying, hey, you know what, don't go to the store if you don't have to. So if all you have is something else other than milk, like by all means use that.
I think someone is asking why you put the jam into the freezer. Is it to help it thicken?
Exactly. It's just, well, also it's, if I put the hot jam right on the bread, it also might seep through a little bit. Like you want the sugars to rest, and that's what cooling it will do. But like I said, I won't have time for it to properly cool. Also, it's hot, right? It's hot sugars, so like it's a lot stickier. It's a lot harder to work with. Okay, so let me get the jam. Actually, that worked pretty well, even though it was quick. Okay,
there you go.
So, there we go. Surprised myself. So here I have 2 slices of bread. I have a little knob of butter. I'm going to use that for the actual pan. And we're just going to put strawberry jam on one side. I'm actually super impressed with how quickly that worked. I did not think it was going to work that fast.
Got a good freezer.
Right? Good to know. Good to know. And like I said, I would normally use like a brioche bread for something like this. Something like I love brioche for French toast. I think it's great. It's a little sweeter. Obviously, we didn't have that, so I'm just using some multigrain toast that I have. I normally wouldn't use multigrain, but that's just me. I'm not trying to. It seems silly making, a Nutella and jam French toast sandwich with like healthy bread. I just think if you're gonna have fun with it, and I'm also gonna take some of these Smarties, like I said, little mini Smarties.
Go all in.
It's I'm eating my feelings. So now we're gonna use the non-stick pan. You want to use like a medium heat now. You don't want to have it too hot, or it's gonna burn your egg. So like your egg will get really, like your French toast will be really brown on the outside, but then actually still have like raw egg in the middle. So we kind of want to avoid that. Put the 2 pieces of bread together, obviously, just like any other sandwich. So inside of that, there are Smarties, there's the Nutella, and there is the strawberry jam that we made. And you want to add it to the egg wash literally right before you're putting it in the pan. If you put it in right away and you're still waiting for your pan to get to the desired temp, it's just going to get really soggy. Ideally, you're going literally from bowl to pan as quickly as possible. I'm actually going to get a glove.
And someone asked if you put 2 eggs in the bowl.
I used 1. You can use 2. If I use too much egg, it gets a little too goopy. You also, you don't need it, right? So for one sandwich, I think 1 with some milk is more than enough. And you just want to make sure everything is fully coated here. On all sides. And then you'll hear that kind of beautiful sizzle, which is what we want. Right.
Someone's asking if you can show the pan quickly.
Of course. Give me 2 seconds. So, that's just my head. So it's in there now. It's fully dipped. I don't know if you can tell, but all the sides have been dipped in egg. I'm keeping the egg bowl just in case I need to do like a double dip, but I shouldn't have to. I used to eat these at least once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of like a university thing. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Because like a lot of my roommates would, they would just make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm like, you know what we should do?
We can make this better.
We can do more. So someone asked, can you add spices to the egg? And the answer is 100%. I'm trying to just do these things as like simple as possible for you guys, but you can easily add some nutmeg to that. You can add cinnamon to it, brown sugar. You can add a little bit of honey into the egg. There's a lot of different kind of things you can do to like add more flavor to it. The idea here is this is the base. You guys can kind of expand your creativity from there.
And
you can add vanilla to the egg. Someone said vanilla. Yeah, I totally forgot about vanilla. I've never been a fan of vanilla, like vanilla extract, but that doesn't mean you can't use it. So my mom used to be a big fan of that, doing the vanilla extract. And then what else is? Do you put butter in the pan? Yes, I did. I used about a teaspoon of butter, unsalted butter, obviously, because then you would have salty jam. So now I've already flipped it once, so I'll give another little show. So we're starting to get color on that side. The multigrain doesn't have the same amount of sugars in it, so I'll probably end up giving it one more flip on both sides there, but trying to get all that beautiful butter from around the pan. And then, like I said, and you can see like the jam starting to like ooze out the sides, which is awesome. I love that. Another cool way to do this is if you had like a panini press, like the flat top panini presses. So if you wanted to kind of, it would squish it a lot more, which is fine. Like it'd make a little bit more of a mess. So I would maybe stuff it with a little less jam and Nutella. But the panini press grabs it from all sides. Or remember those, I'm going to date myself here. But do you remember those like sandwich presses for grilled cheese sandwiches that made like those perfect little pockets? You know what I'm talking about.
I do. I actually do.
So like for all you kids watching, there was a little machine where what you did was you put bread in it, a slice of Kraft singles, and another piece of bread in it, and it would close together. So when you had a grilled cheese, it looked like it was almost like an empanada, like everything was closed. Right? That's probably the easiest way to explain it. It was like an empanada grilled cheese. And then it was like, it had these perfect little pockets of cheese and bread, and you open them up. Anyways, the reason why I'm saying that is you could use something like that for this as well. But just remember, when you are compressing, things are more likely to displace. So keep in mind, just fill it up a little less.
I've even used, for grilled cheeses, I usually put it in a waffle iron.
Oh man, I love waffle irons for a lot of things. For a lot of things. Okay, so I'm just going to show you quickly how this looks. And we're going to just zhuzh it up a bit too. So, take it off my forehead again. Okay, so that is just, like I said, it is a sandwich with Nutella and jam in it, but it's made French toast. I'm just going to take a little bit more of this jam and kind of drizzle over the top here.
Artisanal.
Okay, and then a little bit of syrup. And then, because why not, a few more. It's almost Easter.
It counts.
This counts. And there we go. Make sure you have your vegetables first, kids, because I'm not here promoting dessert for dinner. But, right? Like, isn't that great? Oh, this is one of my favorite things to do. Cadbury mini eggs. If you have Cadbury mini eggs, crush that into the, and I'm just going to dig into this so you guys can kind of see what the inside looks like. How am I going to do this? Here, I'm just going to, so yeah, if you had Cadbury mini eggs, you could add that to the Nutella. So you can just see right in there, you have the jam, the Nutella, all the things. All the things.
Should have cooked alongside you.
And then, like, a scoop of ice cream on top. So you could like put ice cream on it first and then add more jam and then the maple syrup and the Smarties. You could use peanut butter ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Imagine you had a soft serve machine. I doubt you have soft serve machine, but at home that would be very intense.
How easy to stay inside then.
Right? Do you even need to leave?
Yeah.
You have a soft serve machine at home. So a lot of fun things. But yeah, what else could you do? Like if you had like Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, you could sprinkle Cinnamon Toast Crunch over top of it. All fun stuff. Oreo cookies, you had Oreo cookies. That could go crunch all over top. Really, the options are unlimited here. But I will say though, just like practicing like social distancing as we are, don't run to the store for very specific things. Look at what you have. And try and do it from that, because I think it's so important right now, not just from like a public health perspective, but like I think it's a great exercise in getting people to see what they have available to them and making it work. You know, because I think that, like I said, I didn't have frozen strawberries, but I did have strawberries that were going to go bad in a couple of days if I didn't figure out something to do with it. So, and someone just asked for me to do this again. 100%. I can't wait to do it again. We're gonna be stuck with each other for probably the next 3 months, right? So we'll coordinate offline. There was, if you're cool with this, one quick second. So the Children's Aid Foundation actually reached out to me, and they had asked me to just give them a little plug as well, because they were saying that one of their biggest issues that they're experiencing right now is that when kids kind of age out of the system, they get forgotten about, and now more than ever, because of everything going on, they feel like it's an area that's a last thought almost. So they were saying if anyone could give any support to that, check out, I think it's at CAFD, Children's Aid Foundation. Yeah, their Instagram, you'll see a link there on their site. And it's for very similar to what you guys are doing, trying to find resources and programs to help out in situations where people might not realize help is even needed. So we're all here to help each other, I guess, right?
Totally.
Right, Stormtrooper? Right. Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again.
Very cool. We'll chat and we'll do this again, hopefully next week. If not next week, the week after. Can't get rid of me. Okay?
Bye.
Bye. Take care, everybody.